Howdy, folks. Remember me? Widget Walls from NeedCoffee.com here. Back again at last with another Wayhomer review. Because damn it, it's time. Because I've just left the cinema where I've seen a hell of a film. And I'm going to tell you about that hell of a film on my way home. Normally that would be quicker, but I have no idea what's about to come out of my mouth. Because we're here to talk about Avengers: Infinity War. Dear God. Okay. First of all, a preface before we get started with this proper. Two quick things. First, sorry, first time with a new suction cup. What was I saying? Oh yes, two things. And of course at this moment there happens to be traffic. Yes, it is 5:42 in the morning. Yes, I'm very loopy. I'm so loopy that I'm talking to a future self who's going to put the responses in captions. I know. So anyway, the two things are this. First thing is, I just want to point out that we've got a bit of cinematic history on our hands here. The fact that we've had the Avengers, where it's the first time that basically somebody is, put together a franchise that's supposed to come together, designed to come together into a large narrative. That was the Avengers. And then the second time for history is that we've got, excuse me for a second, that basically we've got an expanded universe after the Avengers, which they then brought together in this monstrosity. And the second thing is, I've been a huge proponent of the fact that people should, you young people, which is pretty much everyone besides me at this point, because I'm old, but if you are too young to have seen, say, The Return of the Incredible Hulk, the TV movie with Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, and that version of Thor, then you really should go back and watch it. Just the same thing with the pre-Chris Evans Captain America movies. Because if you're, why don't they give him the wings on his head? That will tell you, okay? And the reason I want you to go watch those, if you haven't already, is because I want you to appreciate how far we've come. Because I can't imagine I never thought, not only would we not, I never thought we'd have an Avengers film, much less a freaking Infinity Gauntlet film, for God's sake. So, that's all insane. That all being said, Jesus, synopsis. How do I do this? Synopsis. There is a guy named Thanos. You first met him at the closing credits of the Avengers. Spoiler for the Avengers at this point. I don't know that it matters. And his plan is to, as revealed in the trailer, to get all of the Infinity Stones, to which we have been introduced over the course of the cinematic Marvel Universe films. And once he has all of them, he wants to basically end the lives of half of the universe, to restore balance to the Force or something. And that's it. And basically, our heroes, freaking all of our heroes, think that's a pretty bad idea. And so they all, in one way or another, stand against him. And that's it. That's the synopsis. That's it in a nutshell. A big purple nutshell. Okay, this suction cup was basically made by Tonka. What was I saying? Okay, so knowing how wide the field is on this camera, there's no possible way I am not in frame right now. If I am truly not in frame, it'll be like Clint Eastwood when he was directing Firefox or something. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, I was saying that reviewing this film is a bit of a screwed up proposition, because I have said on multiple occasions that, a film should stand on its own. That you should not have to walk into a film and have seen every film before it in order to understand what the hell is going on. And I don't know how we can possibly judge this film on that basis. And the reason I say that is because we're 10 years into this story. And, okay, yes, you probably could have missed some of the bits, and still been able to follow what was going on. You might not get who everybody is on the first go, but I mean, it's not, there's no way to have pulled off this story and have it be completely user-friendly for everybody. I mean, the only way to have done that would have been to have had, I don't know, a 25-minute prologue explaining what the hell everything is. Another 2 hours of film ahead of this one. Maybe that's going to be on the Blu-ray. I have no freaking clue. So I am writing a pass on that because I don't know how it is possible to have this film without knowing the backstory that has come before. So that having been said, I mean, I'm not even sure how to, I was walking out of the cinema going, how in the hell am I going to review this thing? And I think the only criteria that I can judge it on is, does it seem like it is the logical next step in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And I mean, I suppose then yes it is, because we've been waiting for Thanos to come and try to get his stuff for 10 years, and finally he got fed up and decided to do it himself. And as you can tell from the trailer, he has a little bit of success in acquiring some of the gems. I mean, part of the thing is the Russo brothers. Okay, here's a foothold. The Russo brothers did Winter Soldier, which was fantastic, and then they did Civil War, which is basically what I would call the Bumblebee of superhero films, meaning it should not be able to fly. There's no way you should be able to do a film like Captain America Civil War with that many characters, give everybody something to do so nobody's just standing around, and at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like an Avengers film. It still feels like Captain America's film. So that was Civil War. I still don't know how they pulled that off. So you then hand to them, okay, that's very nice. Now how about you have freaking everybody? There were so many names in the credits, I was half expecting my name to show up. Either one of my names. Maybe even both of my names. Holy God, there were a lot of names in the credits. But do you have enough time in 2.5 hours to give everyone something to do as much as you gave them to do in something like Civil War? No, not really. Do you have enough time to introduce the relationships between, like, characters in Black Panther if you didn't see if you're one of the 3 people who have yet to see Black Panther? No, you don't have time to do that. There is no time to do that. Unless you do like a 12-episode series on HBO, which, for all I know, is what's coming next. The Russo brothers are the only people who could pull this off as well as they did. And I'm still having trouble in my head deciding how well they pulled it off. Because, oh my God, there's so much happening, and there's so many characters, and I'm truly, this is a great Wayhomer to come back on. I have no idea how to talk about it. The story makes sense in my head when I look back over it, and I think, well, how does this happen? How does this happen? And how do we get here? It makes sense. And it leaves the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a kind of amazing place where, I mean, yes, this is one half of a film, basically. It kind of reminds me of Cloud Atlas, where if I know a lot of people didn't like Cloud Atlas, but I personally loved it, as flawed as it was, because its scope was so huge. If it had tried to reduce its scope, which would have possibly made it a more coherent film and a better film, it wouldn't have been that film. I think maybe that's what I'm getting at. The only flaw in the film, honestly, that I can see, that comes to mind, and this is not a spoiler, because this is, you can come up with this question yourself, and you probably have, because the people who watch these things are smarter and more coherent than I am 90% of the time. But the point being is that you might ask, well, why did it take so long for Thanos to decide that he was going to do his thing? I don't know. But that's the only burning question that springs to mind. And even then, I'm willing to write it a pass for what it is. I should have taken some more time while the thing was sitting in the seat and while I was driving to think about this, because I simply can't really get my head around it. I've never seen a film like this before, a film that does anything like this before. I mean, okay, let's try this. The battles, the fights, they're all fantastic. Do characters that you want to see kick ass? Does ass get kicked by them? Yes, it does. It does in some spectacular ways. Do people get to use their powers in interesting ways? Yes, they do. So the bare bones of what you would want from like a summer tentpole superhero film, does it deliver on those things? I think it does. Only to grade it on the X and Y axis that is a summer tentpole superhero movie is to sell it short, because, oh my God, there's a lot going on in the film. Oh, this is ridiculous. Why did I pick this film to start back with? God, Widge, this was a stupid idea. I know I am. So anyway, I did see, let me try this. I did see it in IMAX. I saw it in 2D IMAX because I'm sick to death of 3D, and there's so few films that are actually worth the extra coin as far as I'm concerned. If it's that good and it's worth seeing in 3D, it's probably worth seeing twice and paying twice for it. So forget it. So IMAX 2D is how I saw it. And yes, I saw it at 2:30 in the morning because I wanted to see it so I could avoid spoilers, which I managed to do. Although I will tell you, be careful as you walk up to the cinema, because there were some people talking about things which, if I didn't already expect them, they would have been spoilers. So watch yourself with that. God, am I ready to talk about cups? I don't even know. What have I even mentioned? I mean, the characters that have focus, all right? I feel like I can't even really talk about who's like featured that much, except for the people that you know are going to be featured. Okay, that works. Hemsworth has some great moments. Downey is Downey, so of course he has great moments. And Chris Evans is a bit of a badass, which is great. And oh my God, this film has broken the Wayhomer concept. Jesus. Cups. Let me start with cups. Let me continue with cups. So, cups. I don't even know what to tell you about cups, for God's sake. Does this deserve 5 cups? I don't even freaking know. I'll have to get back to you on that one too. I will say this. Did I enjoy it? I did enjoy it. It was just incredibly intense, because I knew that the stakes were high, and the stakes had to be high, and that was delivered upon. So in that respect as well, I think the film's a success. Have I found any arena in which the film, I don't think, succeeded in what it was trying to do? No, I don't think I have, actually. I don't think I have, really. I mean, it is amazing. It is an amazing, epic film that, hey, what's up? That I don't, one of my many fans, all three of them, that I don't know how to characterize because I've just never seen anything like it before. I mean, never. And I will say, without giving anything else away, that the testicular fortitude of the people behind this film, it's pretty immense, okay? To have done what they did, and to leave us waiting until next summer to find out what happens, because there is more coming. God, have I said anything coherent for this entire review? Is this even a review? I don't even know. It feels like a string of haiku written by someone on LSD. Should you see it? Let's try that. Should you see it? Yes. If you are, I will say, if you are fuzzy about the MCU, if you have missed a large number of the films, if you're uncertain about who is what to a great extent, I mean, you'll pick back up on it. They kind of, they kind of let you know through shorthand who everybody is, to an extent. But if you are uncertain about certain aspects of the MCU, especially some of the major characters, you might want to refresh your memory, which you can't even believe I'm saying, but this film is not even, I mean, it's almost not even a film. But if you are, if you have been following the MCU, then absolutely, because this is what everything has been leading towards, and it is, I mean, it's cinematic history. The only thing I will tell you is, here, let's try this. The only thing I will tell you is, go into it understanding what it is. Go into it understanding that this has never really been done before, and they're kind of writing the book about how to do it. A lot better than they've written, I mean, a lot better than Marvel has written a lot of books, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's too bad these guys don't make comics. But, Jesus. I don't know that I've said anything coherent this entire time, and it already feels like it's been 45 minutes that I've had this camera pointed at my face, which is a terrible fate for any camera. So, Jesus, I will try to wrap up by saying I don't know how many cups I'm going to give it. I think it's at least 4.5, okay? I would recommend seeing it in IMAX because it is just so freaking huge. It deserves it. And I don't know what to say other than that. Other than watch your expectations. Because I don't know that it gives a damn about your expectations, okay? So just be careful of that. Welcome back, Wayhomers. I've broken you. There is very little I can say other than it needs to be seen. It needs to be seen to be believed. And there's not much I can say beyond that will, because if you're going to go see the film, you're going to go see it regardless of what I say. But hopefully, if you do watch Return of the Incredible Hulk beforehand, then you'll at least have a better appreciation for Chris Hemsworth. I don't know. I just know it's 6 a.m. and I need a drink. And that's not right. I'm sorry about this, folks. It's not even that I'm rusty at doing these things. It's just that it's a big honking film. And it's hard to get your head around. And I don't know. Maybe I'll do a Wayhomer after the second one, and maybe I'll be able to actually process it. There's my first Wayhomer back. and I don't even know if it's a Wayhomer. So thank you for watching. If this was indeed watchable, I may even edit some of this down so that it's not 45 minutes. I don't know. Maybe I will do a Wayhomer for the second one with a better suction cup. Okay, wait. I think I'm onto something here. Let's try this. If we look at it from the perspective of, I mean, comic book movies in general, all right? If we approach it from that, wait, where the hell am I?